Hey guys, this is Max Headspace 9mm, and have I got a story for you. This is a story about a gun that you probably would never guess that I would find fascinating. It's a different kind of weapon, and it's an interesting story, so hold tight and I'll tell you all about it. Now, I was in a gun store, as I often am, just looking at what they had for sale. I spend a lot of time in gun stores looking before I actually commit to anything. You learn a lot talking to people in gun stores. Well, across a crowded gun store, I saw in the rack of a bunch of old wooden stocked hunting rifles, this gun. And strangely enough, from all the way across the store, this gun called to me. I knew from 100 feet away that this gun was going home with me. How did I know that? Why did I know that? I don't know. It was literally screaming out my name. So I had to go investigate. I was able to go over, take a look at it over real good. I just found it fascinating. It's old, and it has that look. And something about this gun just made me want to investigate it. The first thing that got me really excited was the price. They only wanted $79 for it. I asked the store manager and he said, well, it's just a wall hanger. You can't get ammo for that. And I thought, great, I'm fine with that even as a decorative piece. But I had to find out more. After I bought it, I did a little bit of research on this. It's marked Steyr M95. Now that's $18.95. This is a very old gun. Remember I said so. And it's an 8x50. 8x50 was the round. That's an old round. I went online, looked everywhere for it. I was only able to find two, and they were not online for sale. I couldn't buy them anywhere at any price. A friend gave them to me. He didn't have a gun that would shoot it, and he said, well, these are in my collection. You'll get more use out of them than I will. They had Nazi markings on the heel of the bullet. And 8x50 is kind of a weird looking round. It's a big, big bullet, like a Mauser bullet, but it's slightly different. So I got the round and I tried to chamber it in this gun, and it would not chamber. So I took some time and I made a cast of the chamber, and I measured all the different parameters of that chamber. Turns out, I couldn't find anything that matched it. It was an unobtainium unicorn. I did a little bit of research and I studied online just because I was interested in this gun. Turns out it was created and designed originally as a military weapon, and it was by a designer, a weapons designer, named Ferdinand Ritter von Mannlicher. And he was a brilliant guy, much like Kalashnikov and Stoner are, or were, in the more modern times. He created something that we all who love military arms owe a lot to. This bolt right here, straight, no turn, straight in and out. It has a spline inside, and by pulling it straight back and straight forward, it locks the lugs and locks the breech. What an interesting thing. And the Germans in Nazi Germany were very interested in this gun during, World War I, and then eventually, I guess, in World War II, they used it a little bit too. They captured a bunch of them, slightly reconfigured them, rechambered them, and continued using them in the war as they spread across Europe. So it has a 5-round clip that you feed in from the top into this magazine space here. And when you have cycled through and shot your last round, the clip falls out the bottom with a pinging sound to make sure you know that you're out. This isn't the original military configuration. When this gun was fielded in war, it had a very different, much heavier stock with band clamps around the barrel. It was just a much bigger, heavier, bulkier gun. But the interesting thing is, what happens to military weapons back in that age when a military never wants to use them again? What if they are outmoded and no longer necessary for battle? What do? Well, it opens up a cottage industry for shops all over the place to buy these things really cheap and reconfigure them as hunting rifles. As hunting rifles, they're great. They're absolutely fantastic, and people bought them and used them for hunting. Now, remember I told you I did a little cast of the chamber of this gun. Well, I gave up. I couldn't find a round that would fit that chamber. A friend of mine did a little research because he's a nut like I am about these things, and he found out what this was chambered for, and amazingly enough, they make rounds for it today. It's called Lever Revolution, and basically it was designed for lever guns. It is kind of like the 30-30 in a lot of ways, but it has a pointed Spitzer bullet with a plastic tip. The plastic tip keeps this bullet safely from igniting the primer in a tubular fed magazine. You notice it has a very pronounced heel, a rim, and a big, heavy 8mm projectile. Now, once I bought some of this stuff, I had to try it out. I took it out. I don't have any guns like this. Everything I have has a scope on it or peep sights or something modern, you know. So I was kind of curious how this would actually shoot. I loaded it tentatively. Everything closed and functioned just as it should. Of course, I mic'd the barrel and I made sure that the bullet wasn't too big for it. And I set up a target 100 yards away. It was just a gong. I was absolutely shocked. These sights, open sights, and that gong, it was so flat shooting, I couldn't believe it. If I can see it, I can hit it with this gun. 100 to 200 yards, this gun will hit whatever I want to shoot all day long without any optics or magnification or anything. Very nice sights. And the gun is just so light. This is a really good brush gun, this round. This round is a good brush round because it's heavy, it's pointed, it'll go through all kinds of light sticks and cover. And for hunting, if a person wanted to do that, this is a fantastic rifle that will take down decent-sized game. And it is incredibly light. I mean, I could carry this thing all day long. I could hold this on target for hours if I had to. It's just very well balanced. So I don't think I'm going to put a ton of rounds through this. I've got a lot of ammo for it, and I do enjoy it occasionally, just for a lark. I love the way it looks. I love the history. I love the story that it has to tell. And I just wanted to share it with you. I've had this thing for 8 to 10 years now. And I got it out the other day and admired it, and I thought I'd share it with you. I hope you enjoyed the story of a forgotten weapon that has a very interesting history. This is Max Headspace 9mm. Have a good one.